Fabrice
No, you can't
Bardy,
unmute me.
and he'll be presenting tonight with his co-founder Matthew. I'll call him Matt, and they're both the co-founders of MindEar, which is a therapeutic product which is designed to support and manage tinnitus. It's been an integral part of our referral system now for some time, and really delivering some very exciting results with tinnitus management. Really tonight we'll be covering some key aspects of tinnitus management and helping you with the refinement of these strategies and help hopefully to reinforce some healthy and new holistic techniques. If you need any additional support, of course, we're here to help. There won't be a live Q&A tonight. Tonight is an information session, but there will be a feedback form that will be sent out, and I do encourage you to fill that in just to give us some guidance on what we can do to help improve a session like this if we do run them in the future. If you haven't already, then I do encourage you to at least Google or download the free MindEar app. MindEar is available on all platforms, and this will also help with the tinnitus management that we've already helped prescribe. Of course, if you want to follow up from the session tonight with me, or if you're interested in enrolling one of MindEar's programs, we can facilitate that referral, and I do encourage any feedback. Enough from me. I think it's time for me to hand over and introduce Dr. Fabrice Bardy, who is joined by his colleague Matt, and they'll be presenting tonight, and I'll say a few words at the end. So I'll just mute my microphone, and Fabrice, you're on.
Yeah, hi Nigel, sorry. Thank you everyone for joining this session. And I'm going to start sharing my screen, and you should all be able to see it. I'm very sorry. Initially, I've been doing this kind of event a million of times, but there's always a technical issue. And for some reason, I was on a phone call earlier using my AirPod, and I don't know if you were hearing me, but they were not working for some reason. So it's interesting. But I'm very excited to present tonight about the MindEar program that we have been developing over the last 5 years. And talking about this collaboration that we are doing with the Hearing Institute to bring this program to you. My name is Fabrice. I'm an audiologist. I've been doing research in auditory neuroscience in different countries. In Australia, in New Zealand, I've been at the University of Auckland for some years. And I've been working on developing this program with Dr. Mathieu Recugna, who is my co-founder at MindEar. Today I would like to talk mainly and a lot about the journey to tinnitus relief. It might have been a tough journey for you to be experiencing tinnitus. It can be extremely distressing. It can be challenging. It can bring us to the edge, but I want to bring a message of hope and showing that there is a possibility to get better and a possibility to get to a place where tinnitus is not bothersome anymore. There is no magic pill today, but you're going to see that with the right tool and with the right mindset, so you have the possibility to change and to get to the point where tinnitus can fade out in the background in a place where it's not bothersome. We will talk about how to achieve that, and you're going to see that it's a combination of techniques.
There's no sound, guys.
Oh, sorry. I got someone. Oh, okay. The sound is on. So it looks like we're going to try to. And I'm very sorry, Wong. It looks like the sound is working, so it might be an issue on your side. We're going to try to talk to you on the chat. But today, yes, we're going to talk about the journey to tinnitus relief, but also talking about what's the next step and how to achieve that. So. The first thing is I would like to be this session to be a little bit interactive in order to understand you and understand how you are feeling today and how tinnitus has been challenging you in the last week. So I'm going to launch just a question for you to be able to answer. And to better understand you, I would like to know on a scale from 0 to 10, how tinnitus has been bothering you in the last 7 days. 0 is or 1 is a place where it's not bothersome at all and it's really not challenging. And 10 is a place where it is extremely bothersome. So it will help me to understand approximately, to get an idea of like where, for all of you, get an idea of like where you are in your journey. So we get, hopefully you should all be able to see the question on your screen, and you will be able to answer one of these numbers. And then I will be able to display so we got 45 people who already answer. I'm going to wait a few seconds, and then I will be showing the result with you. Good, so I'm going to end the poll and share the result with you. And you can see that there's a range of from 1 to 10. We can see that 7 is the 7 out of 10 is the place where you get the largest number of people, so 22%. But it's very a distribution of level of how bothersome is tinnitus. Some people have a very mild tinnitus where it's very green. We can see it's a very from 1 to 4, where it's basically it feels in control. 5 to 7 we have also another proportion, and I would say that it's probably normally distributed. So we have nearly as many people in all category, in the sense that mild bothersome is representing probably 30-35%, and then in the extremely bothersome case we have from 8, 9, 10 where we get 16% of the people here, and it just shows us like we all get impacted by tinnitus in a different way. Tinnitus is quite complex, and then it can impact us in very different way. And it can be sometimes make us feel anxious, or it can make us feel stressed. It can have an impact on our attention. It can have an impact on sleep. It's often linked to hearing problem, and it's quite often where it has an impact on how we think about the future. So we can have like negative thoughts, like how am I going to be able to live with this sound in the future? I'm going to be able to, and also we can have worries about how is the sound going to impact us in the future. It can also be linked to depression. And the last thing, there is neck and jaw tension, which can impact tinnitus, and this is what we call somatic tinnitus. In this slide, what I want to show is like tinnitus is very complex, and everyone in this room will be impacted in a very slightly different way. And the way it's impacting you is potentially different to how it's impacting your neighbor. And the challenge in this journey to feel better is to basically being able to identify the tools which are going to be able to help you in this different dimension. And that's the challenge, meaning that if you are really impacted for sleep, how do we try to find the tools and the sleep technique, the technique which basically going to help you to get a better sleep. Now, we can see there's a distribution of degree of bothersomeness. And I would also like to ask you, what is your main challenge here for you linked to tinnitus at the moment? What do you feel what are the main concerns, the main challenges that you are having? And I would like to see the distribution of of challenges. Same as before, you can answer one or multiple options there, and we're going to try to see like for all of us, and it's going to help us to understand I'm going to give you another. We already have 80% of people who have answered. That's great. Okay. I'm going to, thanks a lot for answering these questions, and I'm going to share the result with you again. And now you're going to see that there's a distribution of challenges that you're experiencing. Hearing difficulties is very common, and the reason is that generally tinnitus can origin from different places in the brain or in the ear, but the hearing is the first organ where which can be impacted, and there's often in 60 to 70% of the case there's a hearing loss associated with a tinnitus. In this case, Nigel is really the point of contact, and Nigel will be able to help you both to do a hearing assessment, but also help you to potentially get access to hearing rehabilitation. And that's really important to do this hearing check regularly in order to see that you have a hearing loss, and if there is anything that can be done in this dimension. Generally, also with hearing aid, we see an improvement with tinnitus, and in the sense that by amplifying sound in the frequency where there is a hearing loss, there's a possibility to decrease the contrast of the tinnitus, and the perception is decreasing, and therefore the bothersomeness of the tinnitus is decreasing. We can see that negative thoughts can also be really are really prevalent. 30% of people here in this room do have worries about future or negative thoughts about the sound. And we're going to see that when we have fear about the future, generally it's going to be something that can stop us to move forward and habituate. And we will talk about different techniques that can help in order to decrease the worries. One of the things here, which is really interesting, is difficulty sleeping. It's impacting 1 in 2 of you, so 25 out of 50 is massive. And we know that during the night, when it's silent, then the tinnitus can be more impactful. And the reason is that there's no sound around you to distract you, but also you are not stimulated visually. It's dark, and meaning that the only sensations, the only stimulation are going to be auditory, and therefore it can be more impactful. There in the and sleep is definitely a major, a very important challenge that we can also help with. In the sense that there's technique and there's way using sound therapy, but also using cognitive behavioral therapy, and we will talk a little bit about that, about how to minimize the worry that we can have when we go to bed. Another very big one is stress and anxiety, and in the sense that it's a bi-directional connection here, where tinnitus can induce stress, and then we can be stressed because of the tinnitus. But the other way around is stress can also increase the perception of the tinnitus. And really understanding this bidirectional connection is quite important. And there we can basically do some relaxation, and we will talk about how to relax the body in order to feel more in control, less stress, and decrease the perception of the tinnitus. So you can see there is really a range of challenges, and the goal here with the program that we develop is to try to help you identify techniques for each of them that will help to decrease the impact of tinnitus with time. The next thing that I would like to talk about is a journey. It can take time to get to a point where tinnitus is not bothersome. It's not a magic pill, and there is no magic pill, and it's generally going to take a few weeks before you can see the benefits of implementing a program like MindEar. And we talk about 4 stages, and we will talk about these different stages in more details. And you're going to see that to go from stage 1 to stage 4, which is achievement stage, is going to take a few weeks, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. When it's going up, it's very motivating. When it's going down, it can be very depressing, and we can feel anxious because we are working, and then we can't see we feel that we are not improving. And then the message here is like it's important to understand that these ups and downs are normal. And the goal is to remind yourself that you are progressing and that there is a way out of this very dark tunnel that you are in, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. So you're going to see that you're going to potentially, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but all of you will be in a different stages also here already, depending to your experience, depending to how long you experienced tinnitus, but also depending to which treatment you tried. The goal with MindEar is to bring you to stage 4. And the message here is like we want to change this challenge of tinnitus into an opportunity. On the way, you're going to learn things, and you're going to learn things that are going to make that at the end of this journey, you're going to be a better person than when you started. It might feel that tinnitus is today the worst thing that you experience, but at the end of the journey, you're going to be able to transform that into something that is going to make you stronger. And you're going to see that better managing sleep, by better managing anxiety and stress, by being able to handle worries in a better way, you're going to be able to tackle all the challenge that comes to you in life. And at the end of the process, you're going to see that what we're going to do, it helps your brain to filter out the sound. So using these techniques, you're going to basically unlock some brain power and what we call some neuroplastic change. You're going to see that what you're going to do is like help to rewire your brain in order to minimize the way your brain is processing the sound. And at the end of the journey, you're going to see that the sound is going to fall in the background in a place where it's not bothersome. It might be challenging to think that it's possible, but with time, and it's why we created the program, we're here to help you to get there. And you're going to see that it is definitely possible. The first stage, which we call awareness, and then now I would like to go in the different stage, is generally a stage where we become very worried, very stressed. It's when we start to experience tinnitus, and generally we look for a lot of information online. I don't know if something that you did, but Dr. Google is generally something that we can engage with maybe a little bit too much. And sometimes we go into forums and we read things that make us very worried, because we can see often only the dark things of the condition. Awareness is part of the process. It's important to acknowledge that it's the thing that we do and that there's other stage afterwards. The second stage is what we call allowance. And it's probably the most challenging stage. It's a stage which takes the longest to go through. It's going to be a phase where we're going to try to recognize that the sound that you hear is benign, and in the sense that we're going to, if there's a negative association between the sound you hear and with the sound that you hear, then we're going to try with time to be able to recognize that it's just a benign sound, that is not going to be harmful for you. It's going to be a first step. And then we're going to start to accept that the tinnitus is present and try to stop the fight and fight with the tinnitus. We're going to see that the more we fight it, the more we want to get rid of the tinnitus, the more it comes back to you. Now, if I ask you not to think about the pink elephants, don't think about the pink elephant, don't think about the pink elephant. The pink elephant is going to get into your mind to the point where at some point you're only going to see the pink elephant. It's going to be so close that the only thing that you try not to see is this thing which is just in front of you. Again, acknowledging that it's part of the journey is important, and it's knowing that it's possible to pass this phase is really important. When you're going to get into acceptance, you're going to see that you're going to start to get calmer, and you're going to see that your reaction to the sound is going to change slightly. The next phase is what we get once we have passed acceptance. We're going to get to a phase which is called acclimation. And it's a phase where we're going to slowly adapt to the tinnitus, where step by step, day by day, is going to start to become less noticeable. It's really where you're going to see some progress happening. And it's going to be the fruit of all the work that you have been doing in this stage 1 and 2 that is going to start to pay out. It's also, and we will talk about that, we would talk about the term habituation, but in this stage you're going to see that it's possible to get to a point where tinnitus is not as bothersome. And it's still not it's going to be ups and down, of course, day after day, but you're going to see that it's possible. Maybe you're going to experience 1 hour, maybe 1 day where you don't notice the sound. And each time you basically get into that, it's going to be really important to celebrate these victories that you have. Once you know that it's possible, then you can regain confidence that it's possible to completely filter out the sound using just your mind. And then the achievements place is going to be really a place where you're in control, where you know how to manage your reaction to the tinnitus, and where it's not causing any more distress. So the tinnitus is still present, but the tinnitus is not bothering you anymore. And it's a place where we want with MindEar to bring you all. And we know that it's possible. It takes, of course, some time, it takes some effort, but it's possible to get to this place where tinnitus is not distressing. And so using evidence-based technique, every one of you, of course, the challenge is to identify the place where it's bothering you, but every one of you will be able to minimize the impact of tinnitus to the point where tinnitus is not anymore like the focus in your life. Now that we talked about the different stage, I want to, and this is the last question, I ask you a lot of things today, but I would like to ask you the stage where you feel you are at the moment, and it's also going to help me. So are you more in the awareness phase, the start of your journey, more in the allowance phase where you try to basically, you are not really accepting yet the sound, but you are trying to work into this direction? Are you more in the acclimation phase where you start to basically get that it's possible to not notice the sound, or you are more in the achievement place where you feel that you are able to control the reaction of your tinnitus? And thanks a lot again for being so. It's very nice to get your participation, because it helps me also to understand where you are in your journey, and then we can see how we can help you as best as possible. Great, so we get already 80% of you who answered. I'm going to end the poll, and I'm going to share the result with you. And we can see a distribution here. You're all in a different place in your journey, and it's great to see. If you are in the awareness stage, it's tough, but it's the most important thing is you are here today. And then by being here, you are taking the right steps. The most difficult part for tinnitus is probably to find the right support. It's really challenging to find anybody who can basically help you to get access to the right support. So if you're in the awareness phase, the importance is not to panic, but it's really be able to see that it's a way to get to a place where you will be in control. If you're in the allowance stage, like, it might be very challenging for you right now, but also try to remind yourself that it's going to be possible to progress and to learn techniques that will help you to decrease the impact of tinnitus in your life. It can be extremely challenging, but it's really important to keep in mind that it's possible to get to a place where you will feel better. If you're in the acclimation phase, congratulations. It means that you'll already be able to see a benefit in time where you do not notice the tinnitus. It can be a few hours, it can be sometimes a full day where you have been doing something which is distracting you and where you did not think about the tinnitus. And if you're able to do that for 1 hour or for 1 day, it means that you're capable to do it for longer. So our goal here is to help you to make that you can achieve this phase where you don't notice the tinnitus even longer. It can be going from 1 day to 1 week, going from 1 week to 1 month, going to 1 month to a few months where you don't even think about the tinnitus. And for people who are in the achievement phase, congratulations. And then it just it just shows us that it's possible. It's possible to get to a place where tinnitus is not bothersome. And we can see that for all of us, we are at a different stage. But the goal for all of us is to get at the top of the mountain. It's going to be, of course, hard. There's going to be ups and downs, but it's possible to get to the point where you will not be bothered. So thanks again for sharing. That's very, very, very good for us to know. The last slide, which is about the theory now that I would like to share, which is about understanding, which should help us to understand this habituation, how habituation works. And in this graph, you can see that there's, in the yellow line, we get what we call the tinnitus, the presence of the tinnitus, or the loudness of the tinnitus. And you can see that this line is going to modulate. It's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. And then over time, this is going to change. But you can see that it's going to be constant all the time. And then in the green line, you can see this is our reaction to the sound. And then how much distress is giving us. And you guys think that what we're going to do over time is going to decrease the impact the tinnitus is having on our life. So the tinnitus itself is not going to change, but our reaction to the sound is going to change. And our brain encoding is also going to make that we're able to stop noticing it. And the tinnitus is going to fall in the background. And I think that it's really, really important to understand the process, meaning that more than the sound itself, with time we're going to learn to react differently to the sound. And it's a mental game if we want, and then it's what we're going to do with MindEar. So the techniques we're going to use here and that we're using are cognitive behavioral therapy. And you might already have heard a little bit about that, but It's a treatment option, and it's a treatment option which has the most evidence from a scientific point of view in order to help tinnitus patients. It's really hard to find people who give access to CBT for tinnitus. And the reason is that often audiologists are not getting the education for that, or they are not formed to provide CBT, or psychologists are not interested in CBT. And therefore, it's really challenging. In every country where I've been working in my life, it's extremely challenging to get access to CBT. What CBT will help, it will help to reframe these worries in something which is more neutral. So let's say when we worry about the future, when we worry about how tinnitus is going to impact us, it's going to help us to reframe that in a more positive way. We're also going to use mindfulness and relaxation. And here you can see like around 30% of you are finding yourself stressed, impacted by the tinnitus. So mindfulness and relaxation is going to help our body to feel more in control and feel more relaxed. And you're going to see that when you feel more relaxed, it's easier to manage the reaction of the sound. We have a sleep program, and we see that it's relevant for around 50% of you, where sleep is an issue. We know that it's very challenging. We also talk about jaw and neck tension. When we are stressed, we can have this, we have a tendency to contract the jaw and the neck, and then we know that there's a link, and then there's basically inside the cochlear nucleus, there's like some neurons which are connecting basically the ear to the neck nerves, and we know that some tension for 25% of you, there is going to be a relationship between tension in your neck and jaw and the perception of the tinnitus. So we will talk about that. And generally, by relaxing your body, you're also going to see that you're going to get better. And lastly, we talk about sound therapy. And sound therapy is about how to use sound in your environment in order to make that the tinnitus is less distressing. So you can see that we have techniques there which are evidence-based, and that you're going to be able to learn in order to decrease the impact and in order to travel in your journey. Now, the way we design the program is that we are combining, and we are having like group coaching session using Zoom. And generally, we organize like small groups between 5 to 10 people, where we're going to talk about, and where I'm going to present you the different treatment option, and where we're going to learn about how to decrease the first is how to decrease the fear which can be associated with the tinnitus. Really important. If we are very scared about something, we're generally going to be prone to have a higher reaction. So we're going to learn how to feel more relaxed and less stressed. And learning to manage stress is going to see help you in your life in general, not only for tinnitus, but for really to feel better. You're going also to learn to improve your sleep. And all of that is generally going to be during Zoom coaching session that you're going to access like today. There are sessions that are happening every second week. And we have a 12-week program where we basically meet 6 times, and it's on Thursday at 7 p.m. So the goal of the program here is really to give you access to the knowledge that is necessary in order to basically get to the point to level 4, where you feel in control. Another thing that I think is really important is grief. And we have a session where we talk about, generally we are impacted because silence was really important for us, and it's something that we lost over time, and then we feel really depressed because it's something that we would like to regain. And understanding in the grief process that there's different stages, that there is a phase where we can feel very depressed. There's a phase where we want to bargain, where we want to find a solution, where we want to really sort of like found the magic bullet that is going to fix it. And then there's going to be the phase of acceptance, where we see that with time and with the right tool and trying to better manage our reaction to the sound, we're going to be able to get to a place where we feel in control. So again, this is another topic which I feel is really important in order to progress and in order to get to a place where you feel that, okay, it has been tough, but I'm feeling better now, and tinnitus is not impacting my life anymore. So we designed this program, and then this is something that you can access through Nigel at the Hearing Institute, in order to give you access to the tool that will help you to regain control. And this program is something that we develop in collaboration with a few universities, including the University of Auckland, but we are also collaboration in the UK with the University College London and Leeds Trinity University. And it's a multidisciplinary team, meaning we have a team of psychologists, audiologists, physiotherapists, and audiologists. And really here, the goal is to bring, you can see that because of this multifaceted difficulty, we need to basically help or bring techniques that come from different fields. Psychology, audiology, physiotherapy are really important, and journeys as a main field where we need to work. And on top of the group coaching session that I mentioned, and if you're interested about the group coaching session and the program, please talk to Nigel. Potentially Nigel will talk a little bit about how to be in contact with him. But we also develop a companion app, and this is the MindEar app. And basically it's a tool that you have in your pocket 24/7. So try to imagine that we have a discussion every second week, which is very good. But between our session, then you still have a tool that you can access at any time of the day. If you have worries at 2 a.m., it's really hard to talk to Nigel. And here, really the goal is to get a tool to make that you can have a conversation with someone that can reassure you and feel that you get back into control. So we have the companion app, which is a MindEar app, which is an essential tool around the therapy, which is with you 24/7 and which gives you access to all the evidence-based tools that you can basically that are important in order to regain control. So here we have the CBT, soundscape, relaxation, mindfulness, and we even have a hearing screening. I'm sorry, but I see that it's already 43. So this is just like an example of a result of someone who entered the program a few weeks ago, where starting the program, this person was like, and I'm going to focus on, it's a lot of graph, but don't focus on too much. Like, let's go to just one thing. This is a TFI, it's a Tinnitus Functional Index, which is a validated questionnaire in order for us to see how bothersome tinnitus is. So it started 27th of November 2024. The score was 72.4. It was basically a very big problem. And in 12 weeks, what we were able to achieve, we were able to decrease our tinnitus bothersome, like the impact of tinnitus from big problem to something which was now like a small problem. So from 72, we went to 25. This is what we can achieve, basically. The goal here is really to bring you in a place where tinnitus is not a problem anymore. It's not that we're going to make the tinnitus disappear, but we're going to make you get to a place where your mind is able to filter out and not focus on the sound anymore. this is a testimonial. I don't want to talk about that now, but we can send you a link about people who talk about how they have been able to get better. But here, if there's a last message I want to give you, there's hope. There's a possibility for all of you to get to this achievement place. It's possible. It takes time, it takes effort, but it's definitely possible for you all to get to a place where you're not going to be bothered anymore by tinnitus. So we developed these two programs. The one is like a program which includes coaching and the app, which is the first one. And I would recommend you to contact Nigel if you want to join the program. It's 12 weeks. And then that will be good to have a discussion with Nigel in order to enter the program. And the second possibility is already for you to download the app, which can be a first step for you to get access to all these techniques. So I would like to thank you all for joining this session. I hope that it was helping you to understand the process to get to a place where you are not bothered. It takes time, but please keep in mind that it's possible. And then this positive mindset is going to be essential, and you're going to see that with the right tool and the right mindset, you are unstoppable and you're able to get there. So I would like to give the mic now back to Nigel, and potentially, as you can see, Nigel is now on again. But thank you again for your attention for being here today.
Thank you very much, Fabrice. That was lovely. I hope you can all still hear me. Look, I just wanted to reinforce the message that we're all looking for the best outcome. We have been able to provide great outcomes through many of these techniques, and reinforcing some of these techniques from tonight's session has been really great. I really appreciate you all coming tonight. It's time out of your evening, and time is precious. There will be a follow-up email that will be sent out with feedback. If you do get through and complete that, there is a gift at the end, and I do encourage you all to go and fill that in. One of the questions is, are these sessions useful? Would you like some content, different content? I can't promise that we can answer all of those questions in one session, because we tend to get a lot of information, but we do encourage feedback, and we will very much look forward to try and run some of these sessions again in the future. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the presentation. Good evening, and we look forward to hearing your feedback, and we will be in touch. Good night.
Thank you very much.